Yeah, so yeah, as I was saying, there's still a lot more questions that are not answered, that were not answered during the morning session on how do we go about creating a UI. For example, if say, let me take Google as an example. Our friend Google here has a ton of things going on, on the page. But then how do we go about creating something like this? Where do we start? Where do we end? When do we say, okay, this is something that, we can call a page, the page is done, right? So first of all, the process here is, Bernard, can you take a look in the chat? Oh, okay. All right, thanks, Bernard. Yeah, so as Bernard is saying, if you don't have a code editor, if you don't have VS Code or any other code editor installed, please use a code pen or any other tool that you might want to use to follow along. So first of all, where do we start? How do we begin? I have an image here that I want to show you. Yes, so this is an image of a website that we're going to attempt to create during this session. And this is basically where we begin. We begin with a design. Usually a graphic designer or a UI designer designs something like this. And for you as a front-end developer, you're supposed to be the one who implements this. And you're going to have to incorporate everything that he did into, just like recreate this, but with HTML and CSS. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you how I would go about creating something like this. And if questions arise, Bernard will be taking them in the chat. And we'll also have maybe a Q&A after the session to answer to address some of the questions that maybe were not answered during the session. So please open your code editors, and we're going to be working together towards creating this UI. So the first step that I'm going to be doing, just like I did in this morning, I'm going to create a new project. Let me pull this out. So we're going to be creating a new project again. So we're going to be creating a new folder here. We're going to call it cars. Yeah, so we're going to call it cars. Right, that's our project. And what we're going to be doing is opening this with VS Code. There's nothing inside, but for the sake of us knowing where we're going to put in the design that we have created, right? So yeah, a second. All right, so this is our project. This is our folder that we just created and the design that I was showing you guys. And let me see if I can add that to the chat. The chat is now accepting files. I don't know if that's something that we can do right now.
Dodo, you wanted to do it?
I wanted to share. No, it's let me share it on Discord. It's the design that we're going to be using. Real quick. So that's the design that we're going to be using. And we will be putting this design inside of our project, which is right here. Right, so this is our design that we're going to be doing, we're going to be implementing. Someone who's annotating on my screen, please stop. It's disturbing to see you guys annotate on the screen. Something like this, don't do this, right? This is bad, right? So it requires me to stop sharing and share again. So don't do that, don't annotate on my screen. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to be doing is to think about this design right here in terms of, as I told you, there's something called box model, but what we're going to be thinking about here is, you know, if we were to draw boxes on this UI design, right, this user interface right here, this web page, what would like to create a structure like this, how, you know, a layout like this, how would we draw boxes around elements in here? So the first thing that we can do is, let me see if, let me, Mike. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you guys what I would do to create, you know, to draw boxes around that UI layout that we have. So it's just take a pen and a paper. Think about this as, you know, think about this as, you know, boxes around the elements. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw that UI into different boxes, and I'll show you. All right. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if it's blurred or something, but you want to, let me pin myself.
Unless you remove the blue effect.
Yeah. Let me remove it. Blur, none. Oops. Okay. No, not like that. Okay. None. All right. So basically, what you want to do is to do something like this, and you know, this is maybe like inverted because of the camera, but you want to have like just like I showed you, look, the yellow, the orange yellowish side is this one, the sidebar, and we're going to have some text in here, and we're going to have a title and a button, call to action, and in here we're going to have you know, some page title. Okay, so this right here. So basically what we're going to be doing is take a pen and a paper and write some things, you know, out on a paper, draw it. This is called wireframing, so, or sketching, right? So after you do this, that's when you jump into code. That's when you think about, you know, that's how you find a way to think about, you know, the design that you're creating basically. So let me kill the video and go back to the folder that we have. Go back to VS Code and pin. All right, so the boxes that I drew were based on this UI, and this was the sidebar. This is like the main content. So the first step that we're going to be doing is to actually create the, okay, you can note this down. We're going to be following a few steps. So the first step is, you know, getting this UI design, okay? Getting this design is the first step. And, you know, we're done with that. The next thing that we're going to be doing is to write the markup. You know, if I say write markup, what do you guys understand in the chat? Someone. when I say we're going to write the markup for this design, what do you guys understand by that? Okay, HTML tags. All right, exactly.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that it's just determining the structure of the page using HTML.
Exactly. Thank you. Spot on. Spot on. Thank you so much. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Okay. So it's not just writing tags. Yes, it's writing tags, but it's basically thinking, in a bigger picture that we're not just writing tags. We're trying to implement this design, or in other words, creating a structure of our page based on the design that we have. Okay, so the first thing that we do is to come here and create a new file, call it index.html, just like we did in the morning. Let's get rid of this. Right, so let me see if you guys can see, make this a bit bigger. So based on our design, let me maybe open it to the side. So to do that, you just right click on the file up there and do split left. Okay, so it will be it will split on the left. I wanted it to be on the other side. Let me put this here and close this there. So you see that we have our design on the side, so we can cheat a bit and see the design, and HTML at the same time. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using the techniques that we learned this morning, just to go fast. So the first thing, when you're using VS Code, you can skip some of the steps of writing like the doc type and all that, and it will create a structure for you with a tool called Emmet. It comes default on VS Code. So when we do that, when you write exclamation mark and hit enter, you'll be greeted with this, with this structure that we have here. Let me see. Yeah. So we have our HTML doc type, we have our page title and a few meta tags. We won't go into what these do, but these are very important. This is like the bare minimum that you should have when creating a web page. And we're going to be calling this, since this website is called Cars Dashboard or something like that, then this is where we're going to be starting. Okay, so we're going to start with Cars, and then we're going to use this to go live. So since we're going live, it's going to open it here, and we have our page. Okay, so yeah, okay, we'll be going side to side so that you guys can follow with what we have. So to write the markup, we are going to be looking, thinking about this design in terms of, actually, let me put this here so that we can see it in full size, right? So we're going to be thinking about the boxes that we drew. Okay, so if this was our page, this is just maybe a single view page, and all the contents are fitting here. We don't have to scroll or anything, at least on desktop. So we're going to be thinking about, if you draw a line, let me annotate my screen so that you guys can see. Let me draw a box, make it a bit bigger and very red. See if you guys can see. Oh no, it's not coming on. All right, so okay, it's not bringing the annotations on. So what I'm trying to do here is, let me close that. So if you drew a box around all of the content on the page, then that would be one of the things that we're going to be having. Okay, so what we can call that is maybe some kind of container for the whole document. Okay, we can even call that a container. Okay, some people like to call it a wrapper, others like to call it a container, or to be very specific, they even call it page container. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to be writing some HTML, that will house that. Okay, so I'm going to be writing a div. To write a div with a dot and say page. Keyboard, don't do that again. Page container, and we press enter. It's going to create a div for us, which is going to house all of our page content, right? This sidebar and the main content are going to be all part of the page, right? So we're going to, we're giving it, this is a class. This class is going to help us to style how this look and giving it some layout. Okay, so after doing that, we're going to be coming inside of the page container. We have two other things. We have this sidebar and we have this content containers, and this is the main content. Okay, so we're going to have the nav or the navigation or the sidebar. Let's call it side. Inside of here, we're going to have, let's use divs for now, and I'll explain why I'm using divs. So you can write div and then sidebar, okay? But you can also write dot sidebar and it will still be the same thing. Emmet will create a div for you with a class of sidebar, okay? So inside of that, let's finish off sidebar first. So inside of that, we have this text, the hello text, and we have the dashboard, analytics, report, SUVs. This is like sidebar. This is like sidebar links that we're going to have, and inside of there, we're going to be adding those. So
Mic check, Dodo.
Check.
Somebody called Enzo wants to know the purpose of this metadata. We had talked about this in the morning. I don't know if he was present or not, but you can quickly, explain what are them.
All right. So in the head, for example, if you have some Arabic characters on the page, and you don't have this metadata that says UTF-8. This is like kind of like you don't have to think about it, kind of thing. But if it's not there, then your Arabic text or your Spanish text, special characters in Spanish or special characters in a particular language like Chinese, they wouldn't show on the page, even if it was just us, maybe pasting it from someplace else, it's not going to show. So you need this metadata. It's defining the character set, it's setting it to UTF-8, okay? The next thing, this is for compatibility with Microsoft Edge, or what used to be called Internet Explorer. It's mainly for Windows, but Internet Explorer has died. So this is for more compatibility, okay? This one is for, we can basically delete this for now because we're not doing responsive design. But once you need responsive design, you want to tell the browser about, the device width and, all of that, where do we fit the content on the page, okay? These are the, this is the reason we have this metadata. And this title right here, we can already see it coming here. So it's cars, right? This is the title of the page, right? So more of that, you're going to be exploring and finding things out as you work through these things. But that's very nice of you to ask, because you should not have things on the page that you don't understand why they're there, right? So this that's one. So going back to, I hope she's answered. Going back to our sidebar, we have our.
He's answered.
All right, awesome. So we have our hello. Our hello is like a heading. So let's give it like a heading two that says hello, right? and then we'll have our list. Okay, so we talked about having lists, and to create a list, you add a UL and then add list items by typing li. So for our first li, we have dashboard and then analytics report and then SUVs. Okay, so we have dashboard. We have another li. We have analytics, if I can remember well, and then reports, and then we have SUVs. Okay, so this is basically the list that we have here. So this is the sidebar, right? This is all the HTML that we'll need to create this sidebar. Okay, so this is it. If we look at this side here, you see we have our hello, we have our list, which does not look anything like the design, but we'll get to fix that really quick after we write all the HTML. Okay, so after the sidebar, we have this page, this side here, which is kind of like the main content of the page. Okay, so this is like our navigation, and this is our page right here. Okay, so we can maybe wrap this content, this title. This is like a page title because I tried to match it with the currently selected element here, which is going to be SUVs. So maybe if you click on report, it also brings in report and bring some other content right here. Okay, so for this, we're going to have to create a wrapper around this main content. Okay, so we do that after, because we have our sidebar. After sidebar, this is where it ends. So we create, so maybe to visualize that, you can even collapse this element right here like this. If you click here, you have these things that you're even able to collapse some HTML so that you have visual representation of what you're writing, right? So let me maybe make this a bit bigger. So here we'll create another div called with a class of main, and it's going to house another H2. Okay, let's maybe make it an H3 because maybe it's smaller than the title. But is it smaller? Looks like they're kind of the same size. Okay, let's maybe make it an H1, an H1 since it's bigger than the title. So inside of here, we'll have an H1, which is a title. So it will be different. Maybe we want to maybe style it differently from other H1s anywhere on the page. This is just specifically for the title H1. And we're going to say SUVs, right? And then below that, below the title, this is our whole section here is just the title. And below that is going to be another content wrapper, which we have the actual page content. So we have the main page, right, which has like the title and the content, and you can call these names, like all these names, I'm just making them up about the class names, but for the class names, you can also name them whatever you want. You can maybe say info, a div with a class of info for this one. It doesn't matter. You don't have to call it like content like I'm doing here. So a div with a class of content, and inside of this, we'll have this one right here. Maybe it's another H4 for the content. Maybe inside of content we have an H4. This H4 is going to say Y, right? And we'll have a paragraph tag with some text. I think it's 2 paragraph tags if I'm not mistaken. So this is the H4, this is the paragraph tag, and another one, and then a button. Okay. So this has a question mark. We'll add another paragraph tag with some lorem ipsum. I think if you write lorem, Emmett will add some lorem ipsum text for you, and he will have it. So if we check again, we'll see that everything is just stacked on top of each other. But this is what we're going to be fixing with our CSS. Okay, so we're just writing the HTML, the markup. Okay, so below this, the last bit that we have here is this button right here. So for now, we can use, the button says get started, but for now we can use an anchor tag. We can definitely do a button that says get started, right? Like so. It will come as a button, but for us, I want to use an anchor tag so that I can show you guys how to do that as well. So let's call it call to action. Okay, so call to action. Usually you hear people say CTA. CTA is usually call to action, and I make this a dead link because it's not going anywhere for now. And it will say call get started, right? So this is all the content that we have, but we need to take this and turn it into this with CSS. Okay, so how do we do that? All right, that's our challenge for now. I don't know if there's any question real quick that we can answer, Bernard, in the chat before we go ahead and create this layout.
Not one at the moment. Just one concern. I think a few people are just coding along.
Yeah, I saw your question. Who's coding along with me? Let's see. Just raise your hand if you're coding along, and that would be awesome if you're coding along. And if you're not, also it's still fine as long as you're following. And nice, Esterine. Oh, Esterine, did you get to find your TTL? You didn't. You were saying that you didn't have a TTL in the morning. No. Okay. Are you on Discord at least? Okay. Find Mike Angwandia, Ang Mike, like that, or Dodo, or Dushi, or Dushi. Are you called Dushi on Discord? Right. So find someone who's an admin or any TTL. They'll be able to help. Or if they're not able to help, they'll maybe talk to us and we'll find you your TTL. All right. So that was the break that we needed so that we can go ahead and start to attack this layout. So we've defined our design. We have our design right here, and we have our our markup. We have our sketch, right? And we have our the sketch. What the sketch helped us do is to define. Let me maybe collapse this so that you can see the page content. Okay, so we have our page container, our page container or wrapper. We have our sidebar, which is collapsed here. We have all the content inside. We have the main part, the main side here, right here, and inside of that we have the title and the main content. Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing is now to add some CSS. All right, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is creating the CSS file, right? Just like you would expect, we're going to be creating a CSS file, and we're not going to be creating folders because it's just one CSS file and it can just live here and it's not causing any issues. So we're going to call it main.css, but this could be anything. This could be sometimes style.css or styles.css. So as long as you reference the correct name inside of your HTML, which we're going to be doing right now, it's going to be link. For VS Code, it's going to be coming as style, but we can make it main as well. So if we want to make it main, the CSS bar, we'll have to do main.css here as well. Main.
Excuse me, sir.
Mhm.
I have a question. There on this HTML tags,
Mm.
the line that I'm not understanding, the link that you created down.
Here.
Yes.
Mm. Mm.
I'm not getting it.
It's just a link. It's just a link which doesn't have anywhere to go. It's not going anywhere for now. So we put this placeholder in, which is a hashtag. Hashtag creates you a dead link. And later on, if you have another page, we don't have any other page, right? If you click on get started, there's nothing happening, okay? But later on, we saw that you could go on different pages like reports, analytics, dashboard, and stuff like that, okay? All we're creating right now is this SUVs page, which is this one. But this get started maybe might take you to dashboard or analytics or anywhere else, but we don't have that. So we make it a dead link. This is called a dead link. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Cool. So for the first thing that we're going to be doing in here, we're going to be testing if our CSS is connected. This is always the good idea. So we're going to change the background color to maybe aquamarine. I don't know why I chose that, but if you save, and this page should turn into aquamarine, okay? So the goal here is to be able to create something like this, okay? So let's start with the sidebar, okay? We'll leave aquamarine there so that we know where, okay, let me maybe, yeah, so we'll leave aquamarine there on the body. Then we'll go ahead and add our, our styles, right, for different elements. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be, resetting all the paddings and margins on the page so that, we can work with our own paddings and margins. Usually we use this, wildcard. The star is it's called the wildcard, and, it selects every CSS, it just selects everything on the page, right? Every element on the page. So for every element on the page, we're going to be doing resetting the padding to 0, and we're going to be setting the margin to 0 so that if you want any margin, we can, define that margin. Okay, that's number one. And then another thing that we maybe explain why is we're going to set box sizing to border box. I'm going to be, this is to make, okay, after we do everything, after a few selectors, after I write a few rules down here, I'll explain why I did this, and you'll see the difference after I comment this out. Okay, so for now, just bear with me not understanding this line 4, but we'll be coming back to that in a few minutes. Right, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to style our page, starting with the whole container, the page container, so that we can give it some structure, okay? So for now, this is how our page looks like, but the whole page is just this aquamarine, but the next thing that we can do is maybe select this one, give it this yellow background, okay? Select this nav sidebar, sorry, it's not navbar. Okay, so what we're going to be doing to do that, let me close out the HTML. Where is this red? Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to select.
Might check to do. So sorry to disturb you. So to just ensure that we, get on the same pace and page, some guys want access to your codes. So what I would suggest thing is you can copy your codes and paste them here.
For HTML.
Yeah, paste them not in the chat. Let me share with you. If you can go to pastebin.com.
Yeah, I know pastebin.
Yeah, and then you share, you create paste, and we share a link so that they can have it.
Okay.
Now, I think with CSS, we will follow all along.
Yeah. So copy and paste. All right.
And you scroll down.
It's
Scroll down, and in the paste, you need to name it.
let's say index.html. If it's not going
Okay.
to get a new paste, but I have to log in.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Then give us that link. All right. Thanks.
All right. So since everyone has the markup for CSS, you guys are going to be following along. Okay. So now the first thing that we're going to be doing is to come here, go to the sidebar, select it, and we're going to try to give it this orange background color. Okay. So background color. I don't know the hex code for that. I'll show you a trick that you can use to also, do that. So we can do orange for now. And you'll see that, oh, kumbe, our sidebar is only at the top. It's not, it's not standing upright. Okay. So this is a good thing because we're not going to start styling from the sidebar. We're going to start styling from the page content, right? It's called page.
Mic check. Yeah, you said that you could have used the hex code over writing the color orange. I would like to ask, what was the advantage of using the hex code over simply writing?
All right, cool. So for the hex code, okay, so you can see the name of the color right here. If you hover over it in VS Code, you'll see these color wheels. Okay, this is like usually it's called the color wheel. Yes, it has all the colors right here. So this could be any color that you want it to be, and the color wheel has millions and millions of choices from different saturation, different lighting, very dark blues, different it's called alpha. So when it comes to, if you want to make it maybe transparent, it has everything right here that you can think of. Okay, so for example, RGBA, it gives you the ability to make a color transparent. RGB gives you just the red, green, and blue selection, right? And hex code gives you just, also it's the same thing. It's like RGB but without the A, and you're only writing the values like this. So you write the 6 values. So this is the red, and then this is the green, and then this is the blue, right? So if, for example, you have 0, 0, right? FF, this means 0 means, there's it means the red, and then F means the green, and then this is the blue. It's going to be, let me see, 0. This is going to be blue. Let me see. No. This I meant to say FF, then 0, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, this is going to be red because red is full. There's 0 green and 0 blues. Okay, which will be the same for, if you want to make it green, you can do FF and then make it 0, 0, and this is going to be green. Okay, so this is if you want to learn more about colors, the color names are limited. You can do colors MDN. As I said, anything in CSS, you can just do write that thing you want to learn about and just come here and see. So for names, you are only limited to maybe some of these. These are maybe the ones that are supported, but for others, you can even have even more, values here. If you change, this is like a million values, different values that you can have, several million, colors. Okay, right. So
Yes.
yeah, that's it. Thank you for asking. Let me say orange for now, and we'll find what shade of orange is being used in the design just in a sec. So for now, what I can say is, we're going to start with the page container. The first thing that we're going to do is to use something called Flexbox. Okay, so you can also do MDN Flexbox, right? This is a tool. Flexbox, not test your skills. All right. Okay, let me see. Flex. All right, so you can go on MDN also and come here and learn all about Flexbox inside of here. So for now, what we're going to be doing is just writing the basic Flexbox styles to style our page. Okay, so the first rule that we write for Flexbox is about the display. So we say display, we turn the display or that container into a flex container, right? It was a normal container, but when we say display flex, right, like so, this will change into this. So what was rows will change. No, sorry, what was columns, right? Going up, just one column will change into different columns because we have this is because we have different elements inside of the page container, right? So the page container, it has two things: it has sidebar and the main element here. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, so once that is set, yeah, so display flex is set, and what we're going to be doing is setting a height for our container. How tall should our container be, right? So for us, because it's only the viewport height, what we can do is just to set it to a height of 100 viewport height. So it means that it's going to be 100%, this tall. It's not going to be to go below that. Okay, as you can see, you can scroll past that. Okay, if you say, if you say, for example, 110, it's going to go below that, 10% more than the viewport height. So the viewport is this from here to here, right? Like the side, the part that you can see of a page. So even if you go, smaller, for example, sorry, oops. Okay, yeah. So even if you go smaller like this, and we set this back to 100 viewport height, it's going to be only 100% of the viewport height. So you need to be mindful of how you use that. So since this is only the page is looks like this, there's no more content below that, then this is fine. But for the sake of safety, we can just say let's make this the minimum height that we can have is 100 viewport height. And this is what a page container should at least be, okay? It should at least fill the whole page, okay? If you don't have this, this is how you will have, something which, arrives here, and it's not good, no bueno. Okay, so let's have that, the minimum height.
Hello?
Yes.
What the meaning of VH do you put after mini height 100?
It means viewport height. Okay,
Good.
so viewport height is what I just explained. Come on. right? It's viewport height. And you can write VH you'll find all about, or your MDN CSS units. You'll find all about VH VW, which is viewport width, right? From here to here is the viewport width. If you reduce this window, the viewport width is reducing. If we take it down like that, the viewport height is reducing. Okay.
Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
So what if you use pixels?
If you
What
use
if you use-
pixels,
Sure,
if you use
sure.
pixels, it's okay. If you know how long the viewport is going to always be, right? If you know, for example, it's going to be 1,000, let's say 900 pixels, right? Let's do that, or centimeters. You can use any units of measurements, but the relative measurements, like something that relates to something else, is going to be much more flexible in terms of how do we maybe scale that to mobile and stuff like that. Okay, so 900 pixels. Let's see how long it is, right? We didn't know that it was smaller than that, right? Let's say it's going to be maybe 700. Okay, this is where it gets. How can you know how, like, the height, how the height of the viewport is going to be if you just want it to be the full height, right? It's possible, but it's not that intuitive. So viewport height, if you always know what it's going to be, then it's okay. But if you don't, then this is the best bet. Okay.
Question.
What
about that viewport height? How do you know the measurement? Like, how did you know to use 100?
Okay, so this means that the viewport height from here to here is like dividing this into 100 units, right? And 100 units are going to be equal to the height of the viewport, okay? If I do 50 VH, it's going to be right in the center, 50%. Let me do that and you see. Come on, save. Right, it's going to be always 50%. Let me show you something. If we make it go down, you see, it's going to be reducing based on the height of the viewport that we have right there and then. Okay. Yeah. Okay, back to our 100 VH. Okay. I haven't managed to remove the bullet points yet. I don't think I have. Let me see. Okay, it shouldn't have removed them because I'm going to be removing them with list style of none. You shouldn't have done that. Let me add some. Let's style this one right here. Okay, because we have it. Let's style it, and we'll see how we can make this side look like this. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to be adding some styles under sidebar. So I think this is enough for the page container. We have the height, we have the display flex. We're going to go on the sidebar. Okay, so to find the right color, you can just use. Let me see if I can get this to you real quick. If you have the design, you can just bring it here. And if you open it with Chrome, then you can inspect, and then you can use the color picker. If you inspect and you come here on, for example, the background color right here. So I'm going to change this. Wait. I used to have a color picker from here. Bernard, do you know where the color picker went? Okay, let me see. Background, because there should be a color picker from here. Element style.
I'm wondering if it could work on PNG photo,
Let me
or
see.
if it is SVG.
No, maybe it's actually in Firefox, not in here, but it's okay. There are Chrome extensions that you can install. Color Picker, Chrome extensions, DevTools or something like that. Color eyedropper for Chrome. Let's do that right now. It's not gonna take long, hopefully. Eyedropper to Chrome. Let's see. Let's now see if all right, so let's see, let's go here, and it's not gonna work on the pages. Okay, maybe it's gonna work. Let's get rid of this and go back here, and extensions, color picker, and we're going to have okay. All right, guys, if you know any other color pickers, please let me know. I don't know how to pick colors on local pages and fresh page. So it needs more toilets. Okay, so it needs more it doesn't want to be restricted. So, and Chrome is restricting it. So for now, let's just be content with the color we have right now. So what's important for us is to create the layout. Okay, so to add the layout, let's add some padding, from here. Okay, so this is, going all the way to the side, to the edge of the page. Let's add some padding inside of that. So you can say padding, say 20 pixels, top, left, bottom, and right. So if you do that, you see that we'll have Celine. Now you see that the bullet points are still there. Okay. All right. Someone is saying Colorzilla. Please try that. And if you find out then the X colors for these, please send them in the chat so that we can use them. Okay. All right. So for now, let's just add, maybe more padding. Let's say 30 pixels, top, left, bottom, and right. And what we're going to be doing is to try to style this side. Okay. So we don't want it to be only filling the page content. Okay. So thanks, Elvis. All right. So this is the X value that we need. Awesome, awesome. Also pick the colors for, I doubt this is a pure white. Okay, this may be a pure white, but maybe not this. Maybe pick the colors from the page and paste the values in the chat. That would be awesome. Okay, so for now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to give this, some size. Okay, so we can say width. Okay, so the width of this, sidebar, let's say it might be, let's say 300 pixels, right? Oops. So 300 pixels, right? If you do 300 pixels, it's only going to be 300 pixels like so, okay? So what we can do now is to also style what's inside, okay? If you're happy with, the size of this, if you think this is not too big of a sidebar, then we can do that. If you think it's too big, then you can also do like 250, but sorry, this is 25. Okay, so, but what's important here, what's important to note is that if you design this, you will know how many pixels are in this sidebar and you'll be able to use that. Okay, so for now, we're going to just guess, okay? So the next stage is to style the, let's style the list before the hello and the list inside of the sidebar. Okay, so for now, we're going to have to go down to inside of the sidebar. Inside of the sidebar, we have the title, the H2, and we have the UL. Okay, so for the UL, so if you want to specifically style the UL in the sidebar differently, you could do something like sidebar and then UL. So this style is only going to apply for the UL inside of the sidebar, because maybe other sidebars on the page are going to need to have maybe the list, the bullet point, okay? But we don't want that for our list, okay? So what we can get rid of that we have right now is the list style type. List style none. I say none. I think this this applies. So the bullet points are gone, and this is it. Okay. So since we have this, we can add a border to visualize where our list is. So say border 2 pixels dashed maybe white. And we'll see where our list is, which is perfect because this is what we want. We wanted to have, let me see. No, it's not actually what we want. It's not what we want. So we wanted to have these list items to be hoverable, right? To be able to hover over these. So we need to have the list go all the way to the side. So what we can do in that case is to transfer like, this sidebar, we can remove the padding, right? And we'll be adding it to the LIs, okay? So we can do the same thing to style the LIs inside of the sidebar, UL LIs. And this would, we say, if we say padding, we add the 30 pixels to those. It's going to be creating that, you know, element of kind of like a list that we have in the design. So it's adding padding on the left and right. And if we add a background on each one of these, let's say, let's add it to the SUVs, then we'll see that it's going to be a bit different, okay? So let me do that right now. Let's say, LI. Okay, let me style the LI in the sidebar just specifically, but don't overuse this nesting style. Only know where you're using it, where you should use it, and where you should not use it. LI, and then let's say hover, and yeah, hover. This is this hover is called a pseudo class. It's added when an action is done by a user. So we can have hover, active, you know, so many things that you can actually Google pseudo classes, like pseudo classes, pseudo classes, and then you can do MDN, right? Anything you add in MDN, you're going to find, and they are very well documented. Okay, so if we add the hover, we can say a background. Let's give it a background of background color of maybe let's say this pale green, since it's what we have right now. That's what we're working with. So this is what it does. Okay, so only this line, I mean this rule is adding this functionality. So if you do this, it's going to hover over it. Okay, and we're not only going to do it for hover, we're also going to be doing it for active. I don't remember if you can do active like this. Let me see. So for active, yeah, okay, it's going to mess up with our style. Okay, so let's not overdo it. Let's just leave it for hover. Yeah, let's leave it for hover as well. Yeah, so this is what's going to happen when you hover over this, and you know, because there's so much space, you know, between these elements, we're just going to be reducing it. How do you do that? You can remove the top and bottom padding on the LIs. Okay, so we're just going to do 15 pixels and then 30 pixels to the side, to the left and right. Okay, so we're just going to do something like this, and it's going to be looking a lot nicer. So this is it. And the next thing that we can do is maybe to change the font size and the font color. Okay, so for these LIs, since we have the font color everywhere being white, like so, everything is almost white. What we can do is to set that in the body. Okay, if you set that in the body, say font, no, you can say not font color, you say color as white. Okay, almost everything on the page will be white, and these will be white. So it's going to be up to us to make it look nicer. Maybe it's not just like pure white, but it's going to work for now. Okay, so for now, let's just say that it's going to be white, and let's remove this border right here in the UL, and instead, for the LIs, we're going to increase the font size. Okay, so font size, let's make it like 20 pixels. All right, you see that it's going to be a bit bigger. And if someone can get the color for, if someone can get the color for this, sorry. Yeah, the color for this green right here, let me know in the chat and we'll add that color. Okay, and this is white, yes, but this is not white. Okay, this is like gray or like some yellowish gray in a way. Okay, so RGBA for the body. RGBA needs to have an alpha, David.
Okay, Dodo, while you are waiting for the colors, can you quickly talk about the box sizing property?
Yes, yes.
We're asking about that, if you can show what border box means.
Definitely. So let's do that for these links right here. Okay. So basically, what box sizing means, it means that the box model, let's say, for example, the box model for these LIs. Okay. The box model for these LIs. Let's add the box. Let's add a border around it, or a box around it. Let's have 5 pixels. Please mute your mic if you don't have useful information for us. Yeah, so 5 pixels. Let's see if this is the right color. Yes, it's the right color. Okay, so so 5 pixels solid, maybe red. Come on, guys, please mute your mics. Mute your mics, please. We are trying to learn here. Okay, so 5 pixels, Dodo. Solid red, yes?
Dodo. Maybe you can make me admin or someone else like.
Okay, let me make you an admin co-host. Where is Brian?
And Dushi, so that you can mute people who are.
Dushi is already a co-host.
Causing problems.
Yeah, Dushi is already
a co-host. You can mute people.
Yeah. Brian, you can do that as well now. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So first of all, the you know, the sizing of the okay, so the size of this element right here, if let me show you. I want to pull up the box model. Okay, so the size of this element, let's select a link, an LI. This LI, it has, you know, the content itself is 86 pixels by 23. Okay, but it has also a padding. Okay, this padding is, you know, this green that you can see. Okay, and then the border is here. Okay, so the border is 5 pixels. And then there's no margin. You don't have any margin. Okay. So for now, what box sizing does, this property does, when we say border box, okay, we are telling you know, this element right here, I mean the browser, that it should interpret, you know, this element differently. Okay, by default, it's going to be, let me show you how it's going to be. It's only going to consider the elements, the content size and the padding size as as the size of the element instead of including the border. So when you hover over this, it's going to be jumping a bit. Let me show you a bit. If I disable border box, this is going to be a bit different. So the border, the box here now includes, it's going to be including, we're not going to be considering the border in the size of this element. Okay, so once we apply the border box, it's going to be counting the border in the value of this element, of this li. I don't know if it makes sense. Let me see if it's going to be maybe if you had like colors, they'll be jumping around. Okay, so basically it's just to make sure that okay, let me show you on another one. This one is going to be very obvious. So let me add the border to this one instead of to the sidebar. Okay, so if I do this to the sidebar, you're going to see that, still considering it as border box, 100 view each container. Sorry. All right, this is going to be like sorry guys, it's raining here. Let me see if I can find maybe quieter earphones. Can you guys hear me? Maybe a bit better. Mic check.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
All right.
We can hear you.
Cool. All right. So what I was saying is that when we don't have, when we are not considering border inside of the size of an element, the element is not going to consider it, of course. So what's going to happen is if we set it to 100 view port height, this page container, and we have like a 10 pixel border, it's going to be, we're going to have to scroll so that we can view all the page, right? But see the difference if we come here and say for all the elements. Even we can do it for the page container, but we want it for all the elements so that we have a good idea of, we are including the border inside of the size of an element. Okay, so once we activate box sizing border box, it's going to be including the border inside of the elements size, like so. We don't have to scroll to view the border of the page content, the page container, right? Versus this, which we're going to have to scroll to view the page border down there because border is not being included. I hope that makes a little bit of sense to you guys. And I'm going to go on and finish this up. Okay, so we have this. I don't know if the color is given to us. This green. Let me see if it's correct. Okay, maybe not the same, but we'll, it's maybe not the same as this, but the tail is for the text, not okay, guys. All right, no problem, no problem. So we wanted to change the color of the li once it's covered upon. Okay, so these are actually for the color, but the background is a bit lighter, so we can maybe derive it from there and just say background color and make this a bit lighter, a lighter version of this. You can do RGBA and maybe make it a bit more transparent. Yeah, which is going to be transparent through orange. It's going to be a bit lighter. Okay, but you guys get the idea. It's basically like playing with the colors like that. That you're going to get, what you want. And maybe this should be a bit more lighter. So yes, something like this. Okay, so you see that this is going to be much more like the design that we have right here. When you hover over this, it's going to be a bit, just a little bit of tint behind the elements we have here. Okay, so now let's style this and move on to this page. So you can see that the H1 already has like a huge margin up top. So we're going to be adding that. So inside of the sidebar, we have is it an H1? Let's see. We have a hello, it's an H2 inside of the sidebar. So if you want to specifically style, the H2 inside of the sidebar, you can just do sidebar, then do H2, so that all H2s are not affected by this. But you can also add, give it its own class and style it like that. So what we can do is here add, okay, color is white, but we're going to have to align it in the center. We can use something called text align center. To do that, it's going to go there. Maybe it's not what we want. Maybe we need a little bit of padding left. Okay, padding left. Maybe let's make it 30 pixels. Do they have 30 pixels? Okay, maybe we can make 25 because others just starts a little bit before these elements. And the color is not, pure white. So color is, we can just start with white. Maybe white's more, no, it's more. Just a little bit, maybe some a grayish white in a way. So we have it like that. So this is to show you how you can create something like this. And once you have the colors down, you'll be able to do anything that you want. Okay, so and we have the margin top. Okay, let's make it margin. Okay, so margin at the top we have like 50 pixels. So we have 50 pixels, and then on the left we have like can even do 0 for now. Left we have 0, bottom we have like 10 pixels, left we have 0, and this will result in something like this. So we need to exaggerate on the padding here, and we can make it like 100 pixels so that it represents this whole gap, right? Maybe the design doesn't make sense, but you see how you approach different things. Okay, so maybe it's 150, right? So let's make it 150, right? So you see that there's this exaggerated gap between this text and that, and you are keeping your your area clean like that. Okay, So this is what we want for the top side. Maybe this is too dark for a white, and there's a comma that's missing here, right? So it's just you know, you need to pay attention to details, close attention to details. We forgot that, but we need to be including that. But there's also like another margin below this, okay, which you can also add. So below, instead of it being 10, you can make it 50, so that it makes sense. Maybe make it 120 and make it 50 below the bottom. Because so anything that makes sense, maybe 20 and still 150. And you know, you just play with this so that you know you have the desired outcome right here. Okay, so this side is done, and yeah, let's go to this side. And since we have, so this is done, okay, and we're going to have you know, to create SUVs, we have this. This is a page title which corresponds to this, and we have some page content. Okay, let's start with the title. Right. So just to make sure that you're on the right track, you can just add comments, you know, for different sections. Right. You can say maybe sidebar, right? Sidebar styles or something like that. And then since we are starting something else, say we are starting the main content. You can say main content, right? And what we can do in here is to find the main. The main side is it's called main. Under main, we have, let's collapse this because we're not working with that. Oh, we're working with that. Okay, let's collapse sidebar. And under main, we have the title and the content as well. Okay, so let's style the title. Can someone give us, you know, the colors for the text and the background in the chat if you're coding along? But the title is called. Okay, so it's called the you know, the enclosing div is called main, and then under that we have title and content. Okay, so let's maybe write those classes so that we don't forget. So we have main, right, and then under here we have we have title, page title. We have title. Okay, this keyboard, my God. And then we have content, right? So this could be placeholders for us. Okay, so for the main, we're going to make it since we have it like this, we can make it display flex, and so that we can maybe style things inside of here. Okay, so we can just say, but we don't have to. We definitely don't have to. I can show you why in a minute. Display flex, and it's going to be side to side, but then we're going to have to change the flex direction. So we can say flex direction, flex direction to column. So what this will do is it will take, you know, things that were, you know, in rows, and because by default the flex direction property has row, and making it columns is going to be what we do with this. Okay, so if we said flex direction, it's going to if you make it column, it's going to be stacking things up again. Okay, so then what we can do now is to maybe the title, add some padding to the title. It's just the H2 that we're styling here. We can even say maybe main, and then the H2, which is under main, then we give it some padding. Give it maybe 30 pixels, top, bottom, and you know, all the corners, 30 pixels. Let's give it a background so that we can check. What's the background color? Okay, 0,
Made a mistake in writing title.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Typo. All right, thank you. All right, so let's also give it a background. Background color. Okay, of this, and see how it looks like. Save that. This is how it will look like with the padding applied top, bottom, left. If you want to see to visualize how far this goes, you can see that it's stretched all the way to the side, and that is to mean that you know, it's going to be if you add a border, you'll be able to visualize that. Okay, so add a border of 3 pixels, maybe dashed green. Okay, green, yellow. Then we'll be able to see where our H2 is going. Okay, so this is a good way to always maybe add a border to visualize where the elements are going. If the desired, you know, end goal is, you know, is being closed. Okay, so. Oh, okay. Yeah. So for the background color of this of the content, let's give it the green color. Let's see if it's this one that Bruno gave us. Let's see here. Let me remove this. Okay, awesome. So because there's no background color here, the text won't be visible because it's white. So since we are on the content, we can actually style that. We can actually put it on the main. On the main, you can just give it a background color of that. So it's the same thing. What's the background? Dark green. Okay, 04004. Okay. So 004040. And we're going to have something like this. Okay. So since we are done with the title here, the SU is, but we need to change the font style. Okay, sorry, the font family. Let's make it just sans serif, but we can do more, you know, damage to the font by using, you know, font families from Google, and have something really, really nice. Let's maybe say use Verdana like that. You're going to see that the page is going to change on the looks because the font family is, you know, not everything's coming together. Okay, so let's remove this border right here on the title. Let's attack the content. I'm going to make it display flex, right? And because we're using flex today, okay? So display flex, and only that will, you know, put things, you know, in the flex direction is raw, so we need to change it to column so that things can be stacked on top of each other. Flex direction. These are the commands that these are the properties that you're going to be needing the most. So flex direction column. Okay, so things are back to normal now. So what we can do is to add some padding around this text. Okay, just like this exaggerated padding, which is like, you know, say 50 pixels. Let's do that and see how it looks like. Padding 50 pixels, top, bottom, left, right. Right, this is how it looks like. So things are now coming together, okay? Things are coming together. So what we can do is maybe to exaggerate. Let me see if it's going to be the same as this one at the top, and we'll just match it. Okay, so they are starting at the same line. So maybe you can give like 100 pixels for both the title and the content, okay? So for the title and the content, title padding, top and bottom can be like 30 pixels as well, but left and right can be 100 pixels. Yes, I'm so sorry, my keyboard is since morning, so misbehaving. And then for the content, we can make it 100 pixels all the way, okay? And this will be the exaggerated look that we're looking for, okay? And just to close this off, we're going to be styling inside of that content container, right? So inside of that, we're going to be styling this title, the content, the p tags, and then the button, and then we'll be done with the look that we're going for, okay? So if we, again, if you think that this is not maybe the size that we want for the sidebar, you can always go back, on the sidebar and, even increase that to, maybe the original 300 that we thought about. And, it's still going to be, we say, yeah. So yeah, this is maybe more suitable for the size, okay? So going back to the content, let's create that content. So we have our title, which has like exaggerated paddings as well, to the left of the text. So padding bottom is exaggerated a bit. So we can do that under content. So we have a title under content. Oh, we already have the title up there. So we can add that padding. No, it's not the title. There's something under content. Under content, it's just an H4. Okay, it's just an H4 under content. So you can just do dot content, then H4. This is the class of content, but the H4, which is inside of the class of content. So H4 inside of class of content. Okay, so we can do that and maybe increase the font size a bit. Font size, we can make it, okay, so usually, let's see, in the body, we didn't set the font size, but if you had set the font size, which is by default maybe 18, we can also use M's, and M's, 1 M is going to be equal to the base font size. We can just do that. Let's try using M's, maybe 1.5 M. 1.5 M. These are relative measurements as well. Okay, so okay, let's do 2M. See if let's exaggerate. See if the styles are taking shape. Yeah, I think this is working. So we can do 2M. Can even do 2.5 just to exaggerate. So this is going to be like 25% more. No, it's going to be like yeah, is it 25% more? I'd have to check, right? So if our base font is maybe 18, it's going to be adding, it's going to be like twice as that, and twice and a half as that. Okay, so this is what it means. And maybe for H4, we don't need it that big, maybe 2.2. It's just playing with the measurements here and see what works. And if you have exact measurements, use them, for being exact. Okay, so we can see that the font weight is also a bit smaller than what we have here. We have like bigger font weight. We can set it for the global one, font weight, and make it like 300. Yeah. Right. Maybe for the titles, we can set it to, if we set it to like 100 for the titles are also going to be, and if this is going to be correct. Okay, let's not worry about that. Let's first finish our styling our H4. So we're going to give it a padding bottom, which is exaggerated. Padding dash bottom. We can give it like 50 pixels. You can also use rams and ms here to just play with the space here. And we're going to be styling these a bit, maybe increase the font size. So the p tag inside of content, is going to be, you know, we're going to give it a font size of, for example, 1.5 M. Just, you know, just a little bit above normal. Okay, maybe that's too big. Let's see how it looks like. All right, so maybe that's too big. So we can do, you know, maybe 1.2. Right, and then after that 1.2, we can now add, let's say, a padding bottom for all the p tags, padding bottom or margin bottom. It can even be margin bottom, margin bottom, just to add something a little, you know, just add a little bit of space at the bottom, space it out. Let's say 20 pixels. If you do that, there's going to be some space. Okay, sorry. Yeah, like that. There's going to be some space, right? And we can just do, you know, can just go as big as you want. You can do 30 pixels, and you're going to have this nice spacing. And if you need more text, we can add more text in there, okay? And the color of this, it's kind of like a lighter, a greenish white. The greenish white, which is here, right? Okay, like a gray, like a subtle gray. Let's do. Let's just do gray, and we'll see how it looks, and then we'll change that. Okay, this is too dark, so we're going to make it a bit more green and lighter. Okay, so what we can do is to hover over this. It's just that I don't have the exact measurements, so you can just go on green and make it a bit more. If I can hold the cursor here, make it a little bit more green, and maybe somewhere here. Let's see. Okay, too green. Maybe light. Let's so. All right. It's just playing with the colors, see what works and what doesn't. Maybe too gray. All right, so you get the idea, basically. So you just get the hex code and it will be just fine. And then, you know, before we forget, let's style our button. We have it called CTA. CTA, we're just going to give it, let's say, maybe give it a background color of white, right? And we'll see how it looks like. No. It looks like that, and it's going to have you know, a width of oh, we can actually do flex. Let me see if we can do flex grow of 0 and stop it from growing. This wouldn't apply here, but then we can just give it a width. Okay, button color F2, F2, F2. Okay, thanks, man. Oh, sorry, it's the content. Okay, the button color. For, is it the background or? Okay, it's a light gray. It's the background. F2, F2, F2. And then the padding. We're going to need the padding of maybe 20 pixels at the top and bottom, and 30 pixels on the left and right. Right, and it's going to look like that. And we're going to have to also, you know, get the A tag inside of content. So content, and then A, we're going to remove text decoration, none, right? And then the color as well. Color is going to have to be, oh, we can actually do it directly on the CTA because it's the same element that we are targeting. So color is going to be, let's see, this green. It's going to be the green behind here. Okay, so it's going to be which green? This green.
Now, what else do we need to do? We need to find out our real zero. Here is.
All right, this one. And add hashtag to say that it's a hex value. Yes, it's going to be that green. And then the font weight is going to increase as well. Font weight, let's say 500. Okay, it's increased. Maybe it's not enough. Let's say 700 based on the design. So it's a bit more design. This is the design, which right now doesn't make sense. The reason why it's too exaggerated, but you get the idea. You can just play with it, and then the font size as well. Font size. It's going to say, let's say 2M. Okay, too big. It's 1.5. All right, and then let's see if you can manipulate the width directly. And let me see. I lost my train of thought. I want to make this link not be a block element. This looks like a block element. Let's inspect and see what's happening. Why the link is taking up all the space available. So we go in the elements and we select that element. Let's see, CTA, background color, okay, let's apply some width and see if it's going to work. Other than that, we'll have to come up with something else. So let's give it like 100 pixels. Let's limit it there and see how it's going to be like. Okay, so this is not, I would not recommend to do this. There's something definitely wrong with how I style the button, but we can just do with maybe 100 pixels. I don't know if it's, sorry, 100%. I don't know if it's going to work. It's going to go all the way. I don't know why it's spanning the whole thing. Because it's directly, yeah. Oh, align self, check start, I think, yeah. Because it's stretching by default. Okay, maybe. Bernard, do you have an idea of, let's start. Yeah, that was it. So basically by default, a flex child. So this CTA is part of the content. Okay, let me show you. So there's this content that we have here. So it has children. One of them is this Y, the title, the content, and this one. And by default, it has a property of align self. and by default is stretch, and you want to have it be at the beginning. You know, as long as you know the content fits, that's all the space is going to take. But if we say flex end, it's going to go at the end of this parent. Okay, so what we can do is flex start, just like we did, and it's going to work. And we can just add a border radius of I'm gonna say 50%. Oops, sorry, not 50%. I'm going to look at the width of this. So usually 30 pixels will do, but it depends also on how big the button is. So 50 maybe is not, depends on the height of this. Let me see, the font size 1.5 M, padding 30, 20. Okay, let's do 50. I think 50 pixels will make it a good button like that. Okay, so if you want to exaggerate maybe the paddings here, we can do that. But basically, this is how you style your page. And I don't know if there's anything that we missed. So if you add more content, like so, let me add maybe another paragraph or another lorem after this. Oops, sorry. Lorem. And if you add more content, like that, it would you just fill in all the gaps, and would have something which almost looks like the design we have right here. This is to scale. Yeah, so something which it looks almost like this, which, this design doesn't make sense, but you'll have better designs to create. So this is basically how it would look like. I don't know if SUV is in the sidebar. What do you mean?
Excuse me?
Hmm?
Yes, Dado, can you back on CSS? I found that where you use the eta as attribute, what the eta will be used in the HTML page.
What do you mean eta?
What you like, the last paragraph.
CTA.
Yes, CTA.
See, this is a class. This means that it's a class. When you have a dot, it's a class. When you have a hashtag, it's an ID. When it's an ID, you have a hashtag like this. Okay. Yeah. When it's a class, you select it like this with a dot. Okay, so the CTA is right here as a class of CTA. So you can do like call to action, and it will still act the same, right? So, and CTA stands for call to action, by the way, but you see CTA more than call to action, oftentimes, yeah. I don't know the questions in the chat. Okay, all right. Okay, so basically, yeah, the thing to take home is, for example, if I wanted, all of this to be maybe in the center, okay, the only thing I would have to do, because of, Flex gives us that flexibility, I'd come here on display flex, and I would do, and say justify content center, right? What this will do is, this will put all this content vertically in the center, because I have, if I had draw, then it would be a different story. But if I do now align items center, this would put everything in the center. But because this is not a direct child of, okay, so under content, we have, so under main, we have this, and this. So to put this in the center now, we'd have to go now under, sorry, not content, let me see, under main. So you can just do justify content, and then do center. So there's so much more we can do. Sorry, the B tag is a child of what? B tag is a child of content. Okay. Yeah. So we for text, you can even do. So it's a child of. Oh, so it's a child of content. For P tags, this one right here, you can even do something like text align. I will put everything in the center for you. Just align everything in the center. And if you wanted this, you can just do, align cell center right here. So yes, it might be a lot to take in, all at the same time right now. But let me see. For the title, you can also do text align because it's just the text. And it's a block element, so you can put everything in the center, right? But the goal was to create the things that are not in the center. So yeah, so things that are like this. Yeah, so the goal was to create something like this. And we go to that, and we have more, like you can just Google, so let me see, let me give you guys a link, CSS tricks, and flex, yeah, this one. Yeah, so you can use this. Let me pull up my Discord. You can use this to learn all about, flex and all the rules that are used, all the properties that are used for both the flex container, which is which is basically like things where we have display flex. This is when you say it has like display flex, this becomes a flex container, and everything inside of that is a flex child, right, or flex item. So this is where you'll be able to find all the resources, all the properties for flex. I'm going to send it inside of resources, and go check that out. And also it still applies for, let me pin this too. I'll pin that, and I'll pin the flex box. So you can check resources on Discord. Okay, so now the last, I don't know if there are any questions. Other than that, I'll go ahead and do one last bit. If there are no questions, Bernard, do you have questions that we can answer?
If you could share the codes for CSS as if people are asking about it.
Oh,
Same way.
definitely. Sure.
Mic check.
Check.
Okay, yes. On the page that we're just designing, the size is too small than the page that you have designed.
Oh, for this text.
Yeah, it is too big than the page that we want to design. Yeah, as you
Okay.
can see.
Oh, okay. All right.
How can we do it to minimize the size?
What do you mean to minimize the size?
Okay.
So for example, if you wanted to leave more margin on the right, or more padding on the right, we could do that. It should actually be margin, and we could just do that. I showed you everything that we have. We could just come here on the content. We have only margin bottom. We can also have like margin right, and you can leave like 100 pixels. and we could change the color. We could increase the font size. It doesn't matter as long as things are looking like how we wanted. Okay, so maybe this is too much text. Maybe you don't have the exact text so that it reads like this, and maybe this this whole page, the dimensions are not the same. Maybe it was supposed to look like this, but if you look at this and look at this, if you're able to create this, then you're good to go. So if you wanted to increase this sidebar, for example, how would we do that? It's a matter of coming here, finding sidebar, looking at the width. Maybe you want to increase it with the, maybe you want to make it say 500 pixels, right? Let me see, should be working. Sidebar, let me see. Let me say 40 VW. Let me see if it's going to be smaller or bigger. Okay. Oh, okay. So all right. So for this one, we'd have to actually manipulate the LIs. LIs are the ones that are giving the padding to our sidebar. So if we give it like 50, it's going to increase. If we maybe exaggerate it, for example, like 150 left and right, it's going to be exaggerating like that. Okay, so it's just a matter of knowing where you did things and how you can, maybe manipulate them to look how you want them to look. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? People raise hands. I can't see the, okay. Agape and then David. Should it Agape or David?
Yeah, that was that I was laying
okay, all right. David, anything you want to ask?
Yeah, I was asking, could you assist me with the get started button? The tag, yes.
The tag?
Yeah.
The tag is just an A tag, like so. Just give me a sec.
As Dodo is looking for the details, please post your name, your TTL and your name on the chat so that we record attendance. Yeah.
Guys, let me Dushi, can you maybe take a few questions? I just need to do something real quick, a few seconds. Then I'll be back and share the code right here.
Mic check, Bernard, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just sorry, some people on chat here.
Maybe you can take over while you wait for
So I think you guys can do the same thing that you did earlier today and put in your TTL's name. For any questions, you can just post them on help CSS. If you need resources, you can request them under resources. If you need, for example, if you are working on something and you don't have, maybe like you're failing to do something, you can ask under help CSS, I'll be sending you guys a challenge with clear instructions, because let me see. Do you have, Brand, do you think we have enough time to introduce the challenge, or I can write clear instructions for the challenges and paste them under assignments? We have a challenge.
Yeah, you can introduce it and then you can also paste it. I think it's okay.
Okay. One sec, paste them. Right, let's give people 2 minutes to paste the Ange. Don't send it on direct message to me. Send everything in the main chat. Right, it's easier to deal with. Right. So let me first share the paste bin. See this first. All right. So I'll share the paste bin and let me put it on general, since we were working on that. And then for everyone here to see on the call, if you want the CSS that I wrote on this session, you can find it on paste bin. And let me give you guys 2 more minutes to write your TTL's names, and then we'll come back with the challenge that you're going to be working on for, let's see. Let me get them real quick.
Yes, thank you guys. Keep on posting your TTL and your name on the chat, and get to know your teammates. If you're all under the same TTL, please know your teammates, and you can even work together with your teammates in your channel. Ask questions on the HTML, CSS page. If you have a technical questions, you can ask it there. There's a help CSS and a help HTML page where you can ask questions. Shuti, you have a question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Will they share us the challenge on email or we just wait?
Yeah, just wait. We have already, Jodo has already posted something on the general, so he'll share the details in this call. So just wait. The details will come. Have you posted
Okay, then.
your name and detail?
Yes, I did it.
Thank you. Yeah, good.
Thank you too.
So yeah, please make sure you know your TTL, make sure you join your channel. If you have a question, post it on CSS under the Crash Course group of, group of channels. Ask there. And Celine, you have a question? Celine, can I unmute? We can't hear you. You're a bit. Yeah, we can hear you now, but add your volume a bit. Add your speak up a bit. Yeah, speak up a bit. Celine, or you can post on chat if it's. Yeah, I can hear you from afar. Just ask the question.
Could someone explain to me the things to do with the TTL? Because I don't know. Yesterday I was not attended.
Oh, the difference between a TTL and a trainee. If I can get that.
What does it have to do with? I don't know.
So yeah, the TTL. Thank you for asking that question. And please, guys, you don't be afraid to ask any question. Just ask it. No question is, you're not supposed to ask any question. All questions are good. So TTL means a technical team lead, and the technical team lead is the person who you go to if you have any challenges. So each person is assigned a technical team lead. So there's a list, and if you go on Discord, they have been posting, like, if you're on this list, please, if you're so and so, please join this group, please talk to me. That's your TTL. If you see your name on there's even a spreadsheet with the names of your name and your TTL. So that's the TTL. The trainee is you. You're going through this training program. You are the trainee. I hope. Oh, sorry, you can't hear me.
Brian, mic check.
Check.
Yeah, can we have
the
details? Can you have the details sending emails to their people? All right. Because I see some people who are not even on the Discord. If you could send the email with the specific steps, okay, to get to their team channels would be helpful.
Okay. So, Celine, let me just type it here. Technical.
It's not just Celine though. There's another one called Esterine. Like Esther, and then RINE.
So she was asking the difference between a TTL and a trainee. So I've just answered.
Okay.
Celine, I hope that makes sense. So for the ones who don't have access to Discord, please post your email. Put your email on chat right now. If you don't have access to Discord, put your email on chat. We'll send you the email again. Yeah, I think that's it. So back to you, Dodo and Bernard.
Question.
Someone has a question?
Yeah, how about like I'm trying to reach my TTL, but he's not online for the whole day.
Your TTL is not online for the whole day.
Yeah, he has not been around.
What's his name?
Lenny.
Lenny Pascal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll contact him. And if you guys don't see your TTLs, if you haven't seen them since the beginning, since Monday, please contact Mike or myself. You can find me under Dodo on Discord or Angwandia Mike on Discord. Yeah, or even Brian himself, Brian Mayo or Bernard. Yeah, so they'll be able to maybe follow up and they'll be able to follow up and know what's happening. And for people who don't have access to Discord, let me send an invitation to you guys. Let me copy one. Yeah, so for Celine, Esther, and anyone else who's on the call, but who's not. Okay, sorry, the rain is being hard right now. Okay, so you can try using that. This link, click on the link, sign up, and you'll be able to see everything that's happening there, right? Yeah. Now I want to show you guys like real quick. I want to show you the first challenge. Let me pull it up real quick and see if I can. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to be on Discord. People are not on Discord should get on Discord because most of the resources that I'm sharing are going to be on Discord. And let me see, just to have like assignments channel. Let me create another channel called challenges. Okay, so for the challenges, this is what you're going to be working with. Let me add.
You can also share your screen if you.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I thought I was sharing. Right, so these are the instructions to start the challenge. And then let me share challenge one as well. So this is it. So for challenge one, Okay. So my keyboard doesn't want us to leave this code. I promise you guys. All right, cool. So this is challenge one for everyone to try. No, for everyone to open. And I'll be sharing resources as well for the challenge, which is basically Flexbox and just simple HTML and CSS. I've shared, I think I have 2 or 3 resources that you guys can use to be able to get past this challenge. And you'll be able to see, this message inside of this channel called challenges. It's up in the information channels. It's called challenges, right? So basically what you're going to have to do is the first thing that you're going to be doing is to click on this link. Once you click on this link, you're going to be opening this side. Once you click on that link, you're going to be opening this right here. This is the home page of the challenge, basically, and you're going to be you're going to have to read all of this. It's just there to guide you and help you understand what this challenge is about and how to go about it. Specific information, the challenge checklist. This is basically the things that you need to have done with, for you to be able to call it, okay, I'm done with this challenge, okay? But for the details about the challenge,
the voice is low. Could you add your voice? Your voice is low, sorry.
It's because it's raining here. That's why I'm going to try to speak up by
oh, okay.
Yeah, and maybe I've been speaking for a long time, that's why. But I'm going to try my best, okay? So basically, when you open this link, here, when you click on this link, you're going to get on this page. This is a GitHub account. This is my GitHub account. This is where all the challenges are. And you're going to click on this download icon. It says code, and you're going to click on download zip. Okay, so what this is going to do, you're going to be downloading the zip. It's going to be called downloads. It's going to be called cast review zip. Yeah, this is how it's going to be. Time added. Yeah, it's going to be called cast.zip. And once you double click on it, it's going to extract everything. And you're going to have this folder right here. So all this is going to be helping you to work on the challenge. If you open this with VS Code, let me open this with VS Code and show you guys what it looks like. When you download the challenge, you're going to have something that looks like this. You're going to have to trust me on this. And you're going to have your images, okay? This is your favicon. These are the images that you're going to be using. And then this is going to be the design, that you're going to be working on, okay? So this is the design. Almost looks like what we were doing, but a bit simpler. You're only going to be creating these 3 columns, page. It's just like a section of a page, of a bigger page. And you're going to have to create things that look like this. So basically this is the design. If you are more advanced, if you know about, responsive design, you can also turn this into this. You turn the design into this for mobile. But if you don't worry about this, okay? All you need to do is work on the desktop version. Make a page that looks like this with 3 columns and everything that's going on here, okay? And if you hover over the buttons, this is how they look like. If they are not hovered on, this is how they look like. They look like white, but if we hover over them like this, it's going to turn the background into yellow and then the text into white and the border into white. Okay, so like this. Okay, same thing as here and as here. These are just for the hover state. This is the only thing that we're going to have to do. Okay, for these little images for the cars, you're going to find them under images. Action, for example, sedans. This is icon sedans. Then icon SUVs is this one. Then icon luxury is this one. Okay, and then in the README, or okay, on the GitHub here, you're going to see everything. You're going to see what you need. It's basically the README is basically this one. The README is everything that is there on GitHub. You're going to also be able to read it in your project. Okay. Now for the styling, for the colors, I've provided all the colors here. Okay, so these are all the colors that you need for the bright orange, for the dark cyan, for very dark cyan. These are the transparent white, the light gray, and then the body, the font size is, the base font size is 15 pixels. Then the font family is going to be imported from Google. I can show you how to do that quickly, but what would you guys be doing? You're going to have to, do the homework, to be able to send the font family for, titles for this, and then, for titles it's going to be this, and for normal text it's going to be this. Okay, I think that's basically it, and this is where you find everything. So the colors and everything, the typography is here. So the size and the font family is here. Okay, so what you're going to have to do is to create your project in here. So you create your files in here and your styles, and then once you're done, you're going to be talking to the details that you have done. Okay, and the details will tell you how to proceed. Okay, the way to proceed is basically creating an account on GitHub and creating a repo. Sorry, this one, this plus button, sorry, not visible. This plus icon, create a new repo, and you're going to create it, says cars website or something like that, whatever you want to call it, as long as it's, I can even call it cars because I don't have cars, okay? And then I create a repo, and then just learn how do we put a website on GitHub. Okay, it's just that. But the first thing that you need to do is to be able to implement this design. If you have it on on your desktop, then don't worry about putting it on GitHub. If you know how to put it on GitHub, please by all means do it and submit a link. If you don't know how to do it, the tutorials will be helping you with the clear steps on how to do it. And we will have a Git and GitHub session sometime next week, where we'll learn how to, put everything on GitHub and how to track your changes in Git. Basically, something called version control. Okay, so with that said, I don't know if we have any questions about this process. Check.
I think on this challenge, I saw some sizes like the desktop size and the mobile size. What about that?
Yeah, I talked about that, brother. I said, don't worry about mobile design if you don't know how to create responsive, how to make your page look responsive on mobile. We'll learn that next week. Okay. For now, worry about the desktop design and the hover state. We'll learn that next week. All right. Don't worry about this if you don't know how to create responsive designs. Okay, just worry about the desktop design. Okay. All right. Any other questions before I close? I only have 2 minutes. Check.
I was wondering when is deadline of submission?
Okay, so the deadline of submission is no, try to work on it tomorrow. This is something that we did today. Okay, try to work on it tomorrow the whole day. I know tomorrow is a public holiday, but if we're learning, let's really put in some work, and maybe a few hours on during the weekend, maybe Sunday or something like that, depending on how you program yourself. Take some time, work on this before by the stand up of Monday morning. This is when you're going to be. You should have talked to your TTL. Once you're done, talk to your TTL. Don't wait for Monday, okay? But don't take beyond Monday, because on Monday we'll learn a few more things and we'll have a new challenge for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, so don't like if it gets to Monday, then you will have to keep working on it. But the deadline is be done by Sunday at least. Any other question? I'll put it on Discord as well.
Thanks, Dodo.
Any other questions? So Benimana, don't make my screen look weird. People are going to be watching this. Come on. Don't do this. It's not good. All right. Don't annotate on my screen. All right. So the deadline for this is Sunday, the what? We are on the 5th. Tomorrow is 6th, 7th, 8th. Okay, Sunday, 8th of August. August, if I can type, August 2021. By the end of the day. You should have talked to your TTLs. To submit to. This is going to be your TTL. If you don't have a TTL, also talk to me. If you are not on Discord, that's even worse. You need to get on that train as soon as you can. Okay, so your TTL. Okay. Who you submit to? Right, your TTL. Yeah, I think people have posted their TTL's name. If they haven't, they should do it right now, because this is it for today. I've taken all of your time.